Hello everyone, welcome to CAPSA. Today's topic is gastric acid secretion mechanism or how acid production occur in the stomach. Okay, so we will see which kind of acid secreted from stomach, that is HCl, okay, which it generates the strongly acidic environment. Okay, so the gastric acid is that is HCl, which strongly forms a acidic environment. Clear? Now, what is gastric juice? That is a thin, colorless, acidic liquid which is formed from or secreted by or produced by gastric glands, which contains HCl, pepsinogen, intrinsic factor, mucus, etc. Okay, now what is chyme? What do you understand by chyme? Okay, so chyme is a gastric juice converts the gastric content to a semi-solid mass that is called as chyme. Now, what is rugae? Okay, so rugae are the folding of inner surface of the stomach which forms long folds, that is called rugae. Okay, so folding of inner surface of gastric glands. Now we will see what are the cells or gastric gland contains which kind of cells. So cells are, first one is goblet cells which secretes mucus. And second one is that is chief cells which secretes pepsinogen which convert pepsin which helps in the digestion of protein. Okay. Third one is G cells which produce gastrin which helps in the stimulation of gastric acid secretion or HCl secretion. Okay. And the fourth one is that is parietal cells which secretes hydrochloric acid or HCl. So these are the four cells of gastric gland. Okay. Now what are the phases involved in the gastric acid production process? Okay. So the phases which are involved, mainly three phases are involved. Okay. First phase is known as cephalic phase. Second phase is gastric phase. Third phase is intestinal phase. Now we will understand each phase clearly. So first phase is cephalic phase. We will discuss about cephalic phase. Okay. So this phase actually activated by thoughts, taste, smell, swallowing, etc. And the action actually mostly mediated by cholinergic or vagal type of transmission. Okay. So activated by thoughts, taste, swallowing, etc. And its action mediated by cholinergic nerve transmission. Okay. Now we will see how this stimulation process occurs. Okay. So first, when the stimuli is produced by thoughts or taste or smell, it processed in the brain or processed by brain. Which then activates, after processing, brain activates the enteric neurons, which acts via parasympathetic preganglionic neurons traveling in the vagus nerve. So activation of neurons, enteric neurons, via vagus nerve, which causes acid production. Now we will understand about the second phase, that is gastric phase. Now this phase actually activated by the presence of food into the stomach. It means when there is a presence of food in the stomach wall, that will activate the gastric phase and causes the stimulation and secretion of acid or gastric acid. Now we will see how this occur. Okay. So when food is present in the stomach, it causes the stretch the wall of stomach. Thus, it activates the mechanoreceptor. This mechanoreceptor further activates a neural reflex to stimulate acid secretion. Which then causes stimulation and secretion of gastric acid. In another side, the second type of process is, if this is first one, the second one is the peptides and amino acids which are present in the food, they causes the stimulation of G cells. As a result, release of gastrin hormone which stimulates the HCl secretion. Okay. Now we will understand about another phase, that is intestinal phase. Once the chyme enters to the duodenum, it produces a negative feedback stimulation process which leads to reduced acid secretion. We will see how. And this process is mediated by neural reflex and hormonal reflex. Now, activation occurs when chyme enters into the duodenum part it causes a negative feedback mechanism. Which leads to reduced in the acid secretion. We will see how. Okay. Chyme enters into the duodenum now. Negative feedback is produced which causes reduced in the gastric acid secretion. And this process actually mediated by neural reflex and hormonal reflexes. Now we will understand the whole process through a diagram or picture. Okay. This is parietal cells. These are the receptors present in the parietal cell wall. Okay. That is acetylcholine receptor, that is histamine receptor, and gastrin producing receptor. Okay. which stimulates the gastric acid secretion. Now, H2 and CO2 with the help of carbonic anhydrase produces H2CO3. After dissociation, it produces bicarbonate ion and H plus ion. There is a transporter present and another transporter is present here. Now, bicarbonate is releases or get back to the bloodstream in exchange of chlorine ion. Okay, so this is Cl minus ion which is secreted to the lumen. This is H plus ion in exchange of potassium ion secreted into the lumen. And again this potassium ion get back to the lumen. Now this H plus and Cl minus ion form HCl. This part is lumen of gastric gland. Here is H plus ion and chlorine minus ion concentration is high. And this is your bloodstream. HCO3 get back to the bloodstream. So this is the end of my lecture. If you like my video, please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And this is your proton pump. Thank you.